Welcome. I'm Captain Travis Wanless, the commander of the Wisconsin State Patrol's North Central Region. Thank you for joining us today as we dedicate our memorial to those members of the Division of State Patrol who made the ultimate sacrifice. This project began in 2017 when a project action team was tasked with developing, finding, funding for, and determining a location for a monument to pay tribute to our fallen heroes. Project action team included current sworn staff, members of the Alumni Association, a civilian from the Academy staff, Troopers Association Benevolent Foundation, and as a chair of this project action team, it is my honor to be a part of the dedication ceremony here today. I ask you please rise for the presentation of colors by the Wisconsin State Patrol Honor Guard as we play the national anthem.
Forward, march. Shoulder. Breathe in.
Everyone, please be seated. I now invite State Patrol Chaplain, Reverend Mark Clements, to deliver the invocation.
Gracious and eternal God, Lord of all the earth, your word declares to us that it is appropriate that we bestow honor upon those who are deserving. For that very purpose, we've gathered here together this day. We gather for the dedication of this memorial, and we pause for this moment to acknowledge your goodness and to profess our dependence on your assistance in life. As we remember here those who have given their all in the performance of their duties as members of the Wisconsin State Patrol, I ask that as only you can, that you, Lord, would grace again each and every family member and survivor here with us. Let them truly know the honor being bestowed in their loved one's memory, both in this day's ceremony and in the heart of each one who will ever stand at this sacred place. Grace, I pray, these proceedings here today with your presence and the lives of all in attendance. And Lord, please continue to grace and protect each and every member of this Wisconsin State Patrol in the continuing performance of their duties and in all aspects of their lives. These things I ask in the name of Christ, my Savior. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Clements. We have a number of state leaders here with us today. Thank you all for showing your support. Wisconsin State Patrol Superintendent Tim Carnahan joined us now to talk more about the significance of this memorial for the State Patrol family.
Thank you, Captain Wanless, and thanks to each of you who traveled here today to help us pay respects to our fallen officers. It's a privilege to come together and honor them. The Wisconsin State Patrol is honored to have this new memorial to help us remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you to everyone who helped make this happen, from the committee members who spent countless hours planning and designing the memorial to the individuals who contributed. We could not have done this without each of you. And also to the Wisconsin Troopers Benevolent Foundation, thank you for your years of partnership and commitment that resulted in this remarkable tribute. 8 names are engraved in this stone monument. These officers served at different times in our agency's 83-year history, but they all accepted the same mission: to provide exceptional public safety services to our state. You'll hear their stories in a few minutes as we honor each one individually. Some of them were new to the force, others devoted decades to State Patrol service before their careers were cut short. These peace officers were committed to lives devoted to public service and selflessness, and their final moments were doing exactly that. Even during these tragic events, our officers upheld the core values of the State Patrol. Their integrity, character, and compassion demonstrated in every action. It is a true honor to have served alongside some of them, because in my view, they were nothing less than heroes. The calling of a law enforcement officer is frequently one of sacrifice. Those who we remember here today knew the risks, yet they suited up every day and they did their duty, putting the community's safety above theirs. But that personal sacrifice extends beyond these individuals. The lives of 8 families, countless friends and colleagues were forever changed. To the families here with us today, we are and we will always be here for you. We recognize your strength and sacrifice, and we hope this lasting tribute to your loved ones will provide some degree of comfort. We can never replace the lives of these fallen officers, but we can strive to keep their memory alive. This memorial in the heart of our State Patrol Academy grounds is an opportunity. It's a chance for our staff to reflect and remember the reason we serve. The lasting tribute is a daily reminder of the fallen heroes, the ones many of us knew and still mourn, and some we never had the chance to know. And this memorial will serve as a somber inspiration to our next generation, the future officers who will train here at the Academy every year, working towards their opportunity to take the same pledge and wear the same badge. But this memorial is not the only way we keep these fallen officers in our minds. We think of their sacrifice every day when we put on our uniforms. We think of them every year we hear a bugler sounding taps or a bagpiper playing Amazing Grace. The other day I was describing to some neighbors how we honor our fallen officers to include retiring their car numbers, and they asked me why we did this. And I explained to them that the car number is an integral part of the officer's identity, and retiring their call number, never to be issued again, essentially signifies that while they are gone, they remain forever part of the fabric of our organization. So I encourage all of you to take a moment today to look at their photos, hear their stories, remember their courage, honor, and professionalism, and the duty they upheld every day as public servants. Carved into the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., is this phrase, quote, "It is not how these officers died that made them heroes. It is how they lived," unquote. And that phrase, is truly their legacy to all of us here today and those that will join our ranks in the coming years. And now, it is my honor to introduce the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Secretary Craig Thompson.
Thank you, Superintendent Carnahan, for the opportunity to join you today on this solemn occasion. This is truly an honor to be here. On behalf of Governor Evers and the entire administration, we are grateful for the service of our law enforcement officers. The sacrifice of these fallen heroes and all the officers who continue to put themselves at risk when they go to work means so much to all of the civilians of Wisconsin. We'll never know the courage it takes to put on the uniform and put yourself in harm's way for someone else. The fact that law enforcement officers put our safety ahead of their own is truly remarkable. And we are thankful every day for their sacrifices to keep our highways safe. Countless tragedies were prevented because of the daily efforts of these officers that we've lost over the years. We know their contributions mattered. There are many women, men, and children who are alive and safe today because these fallen troopers were carrying out the vital mission of the State Patrol every day on duty. I have the privilege of working closely with the men and women who are essential to a safe highway system. Many DOTs across the country are only charged with building and maintaining the transportation infrastructure. But the Wisconsin DOT is a larger family. We have an engineer dedicated to designing a safer curve, and we have a trooper who stands on the shoulder of that curve to help someone in need. Part of my job is to support these dedicated employees and recognize the sacrifices that they make. And few put more on the line than law enforcement officers and their families. This memorial is a fitting tribute to each of them. Each name, each person must be honored for giving everything they had to the cause of public safety. The memorial also reminds us that every trooper who makes our lives safer carries a burden that extends to their families. We must honor that commitment to put service above themselves. So I believe it is our duty to serve our law enforcement community. Protecting Wisconsin's law enforcement officers is very important to us. We try to do what we can to make it safer. A new law Governor Evers signed in December targets distracted driving and boosts protections for first responders by banning cell phones surrounding an emergency scene. This new law is just one more way that we're working to try to keep our first responders safe. We all value that commitment and responsibility to service. Support for our law enforcement officers extends throughout our state government, including our top law enforcement official in Wisconsin, who is with us today. So I'd like to invite Attorney General Josh Call to join us now. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Thompson. Thank you to everybody who is here. Thank you for the invitation. First, let me just compliment everybody who had a role in this incredible memorial behind us. It is a truly fitting tribute to those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. I specifically want to acknowledge all of the members of the state troopers who are here, and in particular the family members of those who lost their lives who are here with us today. It is truly an honor to be here in your presence on this day that this memorial is being dedicated. I want to convey a few things. At the Department of Justice, I lead an agency that includes the Division of Criminal Investigation, one of the most effective elite law enforcement organizations in the state. And what I hope you all know, but I want to make sure that you know, especially the family members of the troopers who are here, is that your sons and daughters who lost their lives in the line of duty were part of another elite law enforcement organization. State troopers in Wisconsin keep our communities safe day in and day out, and they do it in so many different ways. There are the ways that some of us in the public see where maybe we don't want to. We're driving too fast on the road, and we see a state trooper behind us. But they also respond when people are in crisis on our roads. They do extraordinary work to reconstruct the scene of an accident afterwards to help paint a picture that otherwise nobody would have known had happened. We have the privilege of working hand in hand with state troopers around the state all the time in the work that we do. And what I can tell you, having seen that work, is that the work that our troopers do around the state of Wisconsin saves lives. It saves lives day in and day out, and it makes a difference in the lives of Wisconsinites. Some of the most joyous occasions that I've had the opportunity to attend as Attorney General have been days when state trooper recruits are graduating from the academy. They're receiving their badges. They're joyous because their family members are there. They're joyous because, as I think probably everybody here who's in uniform can attest, it's not an easy academy to get through. And they're also joyous because people are embarking on a career of service. They're embarking on a life that will make a difference in the lives of others. I can also tell you that the most difficult days I've had as Attorney General, without question, are the days when I have attended funerals of officers who've lost their lives in the line of duty. What I can also tell you, though, is that at every one of those funerals, we've heard from family members, but also from other troopers, other officers, and there's one message that comes through loud and clear. It is that the lives of those officers and the impact that they had will remain in the hearts of their colleagues and their friends and their loved ones forever. And the impact that they made through their lives is an impact that will last forever. To the members of the Stainbrook family, I can tell you, I will never forget those pictures of your family hunting and trapping. And I don't think anybody who was there will ever forget those incredible family photos. And hearing about the impact that your loved ones had is something that's going to remain in people's hearts forever. And the same is true for every family who's here. The people who worked with them, the people who knew them, they will forever be touched by them, and their lives will continue to impact the lives of others for years to come. So this is an incredibly somber ceremony, but it is also a ceremony where it is so important that all of the family members know that your loved ones made such a difference with their lives, and that legacy will be felt for years to come. And this tribute is a reflection of the timeless support that not only the troopers have for you and your families, but that all law enforcement across the state does. Anytime you need somebody to talk to reach out to reminisce with, please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and contact law enforcement around the state, because I can assure you that every person here would be more than happy to talk with you and to stay in your life. One of the most important relationships I've had as Attorney General is with the parents of Jabel Kunis, a DCI agent who lost his life in the line of duty. I see them at ceremonies, and it is always a privilege to see them and an honor to be able to talk to them. And I encourage everybody here to stay in touch, because everybody here is here to support you. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Congratulations to everybody who played a role in the dedication of this incredible memorial. And my best wishes to all the families that are here. Thank you. And with that, I have the privilege of introducing Sergeant Glenn Jones from the Wisconsin Troopers Benevolent Association.
One of the inscriptions on the memorial in D.C. is a quote from Proverbs. "The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion." If you ever get out to the memorial in D.C., you will see lions guarding the memorial engraved all throughout it. Again, we are the protectors of those who can't protect themselves. I serve on the Names Committee for the National Memorial as well, and it is a solemn obligation to make sure that we commemorate the officers nationally who've given their lives. Throughout the history of the country, we're over 22,000 officers who have died in the line of duty. And we want to memorialize them, but this today is much more meaningful to me simply because it's my agency. When I started many years ago, we only had 2 fallen officers at that time. I'm looking around, and I know many of you started when we had no fallen officers. Walking through the halls of the academy, the old academy, we had the plaques on the wall for Trooper Don Peterson and Trooper Gary Paulus. We were told their stories and how their sacrifices occurred, but again, it was just within the walls of the academy, and beyond that, there was no internet back then, so no one else really knew the stories. I vividly recall a night in October of 1989 when Sergeant Kevin Lynch, who's the bagpiper here today, called me to meet me at Highway 20 just east of the interstate. He had to tell me that Trooper Deb McMiniman had been killed in a car crash earlier that day. She, along with the previous 2 names, were placed on the memorial in D.C. when it was first inaugurated in 1991. 3 years later, my friend Willie Schoenberger lost his life in a line of duty. We'd been in service the year before. Each subsequent death affected me, but we also had the speed of communication that got much faster. Trevor's was devastating. I was in a store shopping when I got the first phone call that he had been shot. About 15 minutes later, I got a second phone call that told me he had succumbed to his injuries. I had to drive to post that day because I didn't know what else to do. I had to go do something. Even though I was off duty, I had to help out. It just felt powerless on that day. When I met Kevin and Debbie, I realized they're actually younger than I am. They lost their only son. Their daughters lost their only brother. 2 years later, Tony was killed. Stan and Cindy lost their only son. That crash happened overnight. The next morning, I woke up, started my shift, and I had text messages on my phone. People were asking if I was okay, because the only information out was that a trooper had been killed. And many of us have experienced that. I always tell younger officers, whenever there's a critical incident, get on your phone and text your family. Let them know it wasn't you. Unfortunately, someone gets the call that it was their child. George Dmas, Dan Stainbrook, they affected me as well. The situation was slightly different because they didn't die the same day, but they still gave that total sacrifice. And again, the pain was still there every time the news came to us. For better or for worse, the WTA got really good at planning law enforcement funerals. It's a repetition we didn't want to get better at, but we did. So Concerns of Police Survivors, also known as COPS, was created to provide resources to survivors of these events. We recognize the surviving family members with us today, but COPS also recognizes there's a bigger group of survivorship. Whether we're spouses, children, parents or siblings, relatives, peers, co-workers, or friends, these officers touched our lives. We're all survivors. Everyone standing here today is a survivor in some form. The memorials at our Capitol in the nation, the State Capitol Memorial, and right here at our Academy all contain the names of these brave fallen heroes. And while each memorial is on government property, none of them are publicly funded. They were all created through private fundraising and donations. The Troopers Association Fallen Heroes Foundation contributed more than $56,000 for the creation of this beautiful memorial. We were able to do that through our calendar sales, golf tournaments, other charitable fundraisers. In addition to that, we offer memorial scholarships for each of these officers every year. any high school senior or college student is eligible to apply for these scholarships to remind them as well about the sacrifices of these officers. We thank each of you for your support when we do those fundraising campaigns to make events like this possible. We'd all prefer it if we never had to add another name to this memorial, but we do know that law enforcement is a dangerous occupation. Thankfully, every generation has brave men and women who enter this building and this profession fully aware of the risks they will face every day of their career. To be creative with a quote from Ronald Reagan, some people wonder all their lives if they've made a difference. Officers with the Wisconsin State Patrol don't have that problem. This memorial will serve not only as a constant reminder, but also as an inspiration for our future officers. We learn and innovate from past events to improve our future outcomes while continuing the long history and tradition of service by the State Patrol to the citizens of this great state of Wisconsin. Finally, to quote President Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. May each of these fallen heroes continue to rest in peace. We have the watch from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Jones, for the support of the organization. We'd ask everyone to please stand at this time. I will now call family members and select sworn staff to the podium for the remembrance of the fallen officers. Alexander Renofsky.
Today we honor the memory of Trooper Donald C. Peterson. On August 26, 1972, Trooper Donald Peterson, 31 years of age, and a 6-year veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life in the line of duty while working traffic patrol in Green Lake County. Trooper Peterson was shot and killed when he was ambushed by a 16-year-old he had stopped and sighted earlier in the evening.
Donna McDonough.
Today we honor the memory of Trooper Gary G. Paulus. On May 18, 1980, Trooper Gary Paulus, 31 years of age, and a 1-year veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life in the line of duty while working traffic patrol in Monroe County. Trooper Paulus was killed when the patrol vehicle he was operating was struck by a tractor-trailer unit that had lost control due to an equipment failure.
Today, we honor the memory of Trooper Deborah M. McMiniman. On October 26, 1989, Trooper McMiniman, 31 years of age, a 4-year veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when she lost her life due to injuries sustained in the line of duty while conducting a traffic stop in Eau Claire County. Trooper McMiniman was returning to her patrol vehicle after making a traffic stop when she was struck and killed by a passing vehicle. Trooper William Schoenberger. Today we honor the memory of Trooper William Schoenberger. On April 22nd, 1993, Trooper William Schoenberger, 31 years of age, an 8-year veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life due to injuries sustained in the line of duty while working traffic patrol in Eau Claire County. Trooper Schoenberger was seriously injured on April 17, 1993, when his patrol vehicle was struck from behind by a tractor trailer as he was assisting at the scene of a vehicle fire. Trooper George Dmas. Today we honor the memory of Trooper George R. Dmas. On June 14, 2009, Trooper George Dmas, 23 years of age and an 11-month veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life due to injuries sustained in the line of duty while working traffic patrol in Polk County. Trooper Dmas was seriously injured on May 9, 2009, when the patrol vehicle he was operating was struck by another vehicle and he was in the process of initiating a traffic stop. Lieutenant Rob Harton.
Today we honor the memory of Trooper Trevor J. Casper. On March 24, 2015, Trooper Trevor Casper, 21 years of age and an 8-month veteran of Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life in the line of duty while attempting to apprehend a suspect in Fond du Lac County. Trooper Casper was following a vehicle driven by a suspect from a bank robbery and murder that occurred earlier in the day. Before backup could arrive, the suspect opened fire on Trooper Casper. Though wounded, Trooper Casper was able to return fire and kill the suspect before succumbing to his fatal injuries.
Stan Orestowski.
Today we honor the memory of Trooper Anthony J. Borostowski. On April 11, 2017, Trooper Anthony Borostowski, 34 years of age and 2.5-year veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, made the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life in the line of duty while working traffic patrol in Sauk County. Trooper Borostowski sustained fatal injuries when the patrol car he was operating left the roadway and struck a tree.
Trooper Daniel Stainbrook. Today we honor the memory of Master Trooper Daniel A. Stainbrook. On November 15, 2021, Master Trooper Daniel Stainbrook, at 42 years of age and 20-year veteran of the Wisconsin State Patrol, paid the ultimate sacrifice when he lost his life due to illness sustained while in the line of duty. Master Trooper Stainbrook lost his battle with COVID-19 after contracting the illness while serving the citizens of Wisconsin with pride, dignity, and respect. families who joined to honor their loved ones. Feel free to take a moment to pay respect individually at the memorial, and everyone is invited in for refreshments at the end here. Thank you.